Yeah. But Andrew's is actually calling that has 100%.
Special, I mean, you have to special order his shoes, don't you?
Yeah, I special order from Nike. It's like the one thing I do for him because like since he was a little kid, he never was the same size as whatever was in trend. He could never have it.
Right.
Yeah.
And even now, like he needs a 5XL tall shirt because he's just all the space in everybody. So I buy him special ordered Jordans and stuff. So
Yeah.
He has something like cool or like,
Right.
you know, like the only thing he can have.
He needs to meet with basketball players, be like, hey, when you guys are donating,
Right?
I'm tall enough, like I won't swim in it.
Put my shoe in his shoe, like with wearing a shoe, I think he's just slide the shoe.
Like,
into it.
okay, so my uncle, like, I mean, cause like he had bigger, like size 17, which is still really
Yeah.
large.
That
But
is.
21.
What was Jordan's? Didn't he have huge feet?
Shaq was like
Or Shaq.
22 or something. yeah,
Shaq,
it was
okay,
like
because
that
I've seen it
really
at the
short
Nike,
model,
at the Nike place in Chicago. The
Yep.
Nike warehouse.
Yeah, I wanna see a picture.
but- This is starting him out birthdays 2 days apart, and they both got shoes, they both got the same kind of shoe, just like a different
Different
color and
size.
stuff, and I took a picture, but. I don't know,
So
figure out
one of
find a picture of it.
One of the things that kills me is like my neighbor across the street, she's shorter than I am, but her husband is 6'. I think he's 6'7".
Okay.
And so her side of the family's all short. So when they went to one of her brother's weddings, like they have a family picture and then he's just been random one standing tall. He's literally there, but it looks like he was photoshopped.
It was hilarious. He's been best man for all my kids.
Now that I know how to do it, I want to see.
Yeah, my daughter, she wanted to touch today. She's very fluid.
Okay. Yeah, that's what you should do.
All right. Okay, I guess it's just us today, you guys. Well, we have 8 online though as well, so that's cool. Okay, I think you all know me.
So arrogant, you're like, you know me.
I've been glad with you guys. Whole time. It's not like I haven't been here every day.
It doesn't feel this like suddenly teachers.
I know, right? So a little bit of my background, I've been in the business since '06. I got in the business to start doing rehab properties. I saw the opportunity at that time of the market that was going to be shifting. And I've done about 12 flips with my dad, and now I can't find any properties like that. It's not the market for me right now. Kevin sometimes gets really lucky and just gets a neighbor's house or whatever and makes $1 million. So talk to him about so we're going to be obviously talking about growing your database, and then and how it affects our real estate business. Did anybody learn or want us to talk about their successes with the last lead gen class that Angela taught? Did anybody do any lead genning over the weekend? Any open houses, any successes, anything happen? Kevin? With Ross, you're gonna be the guy that takes on today. Oh, great. Oh, nice.
No, it was, that's regard to the classes. They've been really well done, I think, all of them have.
Yeah,
Picture, it is gonna be no exception, but it's just this, the pressure of all of this, it's,
right.
very like.
I think the same thing. It's like, we've been in business for so long and we're with, different stages of people having their real estate license. Even though it's new to some of you, it is a really good reminder to us that have been in the business on what we still need to be doing every single day. And obviously growing our database goes right along with the lead gen that Angela had taught. So anybody else over the weekend? I mean, you have your note cards, you're lead genning every day, right?
Right?
You want to talk about your system?
Well, I can talk about I think what I'd like to talk about is just being intentional. I play drums at my church.
Okay.
over here. And Woodbury Lutheran, and I had, you always have, I'm in all morning, because I play for both services, and I ended up having about 8 real estate conversations, because you're out. And I was, just from this class, I was, okay, let's be more intentional.
Right,
I had already looked up some Woodbury stuff earlier in the week, because as we're talking about beautiful sparks.
yeah,
8 great conversations, and there's 8 names that I have here just from,
I would say, heck, yeah, good job.
but it's where you're talking about, I've had these conversations every time I play,
Right,
and I just haven't really been.
been
intentional.
right, and getting their information and asking, right, that's great, see, you got 8 in 2 hours
Right,
at church.
right. So,
Do you have a story, are you,
I was just saying, all those phone calls I left messages for this weekend, I just sat and talked to the phone all weekend, so.
good,
Kind of, I didn't do my call log, so I can go back and update.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it really was thanks to, I'm doing work while I'm sitting back with feet up.
good, see. So does everybody have a database? In command or not command, or at least they're in your phone? Good. Did anybody have time to meet with their accountability partner? You can, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, we went through his phones.
good. Who's your accountability partner again? BJ, okay.
He's not here, but,
How many did you preview?
just one.
Okay,
One for-
and it was just so you guys could just see like the value and where it was
He'd
and,
never been.
okay, yeah, good. That's good. And yeah, especially when you're your first house, walking in your first home, that's exciting. Okay. What's going on? It's not. That needs a new battery?
No, it's fine.
Oh, all right. All right, so go on the next slide, please. So by the end of today's session, we're going to identify the key information that you'll need for each contact in your database. Determine the categories and the segments for the contacts in your database. And build your business by asking your sphere of influence for referrals, which Scott, you did a great job this weekend. So to start thinking about what you will learn today, let's consider what questions you might have. And we can write them on the board or just raise your hand and we can do a group discussion or try to answer any of your questions. So share the quote of the screen. So your database is your business. Building up the number of names in it and a relationship with those names is really at the very core of what building a real estate business is all about. Gary Keller, the $1 Million Real Estate Agent. If you guys have not seen that book or have not at least paged through it, definitely do that. And I know that Michelle does a book club. Kevin, do you know if Michelle's, what is she doing, the MREA?
We did that one already, and then we
Okay.
did 12-week year, and now we're gonna start a new one again.
Awesome. So can you say something about that book club? And I mean, has it like really helped you just to get
Yeah,
through?
I actually really enjoy it. She added, now we do it, I don't know if she's gonna start the next session in the next week or 2 here, but, she switched it, so there's 2, one at in the evening, is it at 5 or 6? 5 to 6, I believe, and then we also do it at 1 o'clock during the day on Mondays. And, I actually really enjoyed it. The 12-week year, I didn't think I would like, but, it really talks about sitting down and trying to focus on 1 or 2 things and not trying to do a million things at once and really put your heart into that and do it well.
Mhm.
Once you get in a good routine of that, moving on. So it's not only just like reading the book, we do goal setting and we hold each other accountable.
How many people are in it usually?
So I was doing the night one and I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 of us consistently.
Yeah.
Good.
Now I've been doing the day one, which has been like 3 of us. There are 2 other people that have been doing it kind of on the side that say they're gonna start coming to more meetings. So we
Yeah.
have to have more people.
Okay,
The more people, the more discussion, the better.
good. Okay.
Yeah, nighttime kind of fading.
You know,
The what?
The nighttime on Monday night is kind of fading now, and the daytime ones, she's talking about doing them online.
Okay.
or do Zoom.
Oh, that would probably be good too, is do a Zoom.
Trying different.
Okay. So this slide, your smart data bank. Obviously, we talked about lead gen before. And a few ways that we could add people into your database as you move through your day and the conversations that you have with people. Today, we're going to be going deep into how to bring a new and repeat referral business from your database. And I would say 95% of my business comes from referrals and my repeat business. It takes a long time. Obviously, I've been in the business for a really long time, but you have to keep growing it. And so I feel like I have not been doing a good enough job of building new clients into my database. We do a lot of mailers and we definitely do a lot of touches, but to do a farm like Angela was talking about can take up to 18 months before you get any money back. So you have to be diligent about doing that. A database is the container that holds all the contacts information for all of your leads and contacts. So we discussed different base permissions on how you can actually contact them. So some of my leads, I only have an email and I don't have an address. So you have to be able to contact your database differently. And some you have an address and not an email. So leads are the people who have expressed interest in a service or offering of yours from either social media, other marketing platforms, your website, or word of mouth. You haven't established a relationship with a lead, and yet you have the right to have a one-way conversation with them and build that relationship through social media, especially if you have not met them either. So, but you're starting to get maybe some followers on your Instagram or your social media. I know a few people are letting other companies just do their social media, which definitely takes hours off of your plate. So if you have those resources, that might be something that you also want to try. And contacts are the people who have relationships with you and they know you and you know them and you have permission to actually engage with them. The people who make up your sphere of influence, your SOI, are considered your contacts. And these people are your golden ticket. And definitely try to be touching them at least once a month, I would say, in any way, newsletter, phone call, text. I don't mind texting people. And that's just the way that, you can text anybody, right? And I was thinking about, like, I had my cousin who just had his birthday and I only put a post on his social media. I'm like, why didn't I call him? And why did I text him? I mean, yeah, we always, like, my biggest thing was like, I don't have enough time. I do have time. I was totally called out about 40 minutes in my car. I'm driving. I have time to call. So I'm definitely needing to do better at that as well. Any feedback on anybody in the room that might use another company that does their social media besides themselves? Kevin, I wasn't calling you out at all.
And I certainly engaged with the Real Geeks website.
Real Geeks.
They have, they will go out and my Google program for me, Google, and then it goes on Instagram as well. But it looks like they're promoting properties that other people in our office and other offices have, but trying to make it look like it's just our office, it's just the feed. So it's spreading a lot. I just started it probably a month ago. I've got 18 things.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's great. And people that you haven't met or people that you knew that are now just, okay.
But I think that, I guess the lesson there is that we can always been able to do it, that we can do it on our own. That I don't need to be paying $600 a month or something. That you can make that.
She's like, thank you. I need another.
Your suggestion.
There's other companies you can do keeping current matters. The Jason Gorman team used Sync. So if you're gonna sign up for any program, you can always find an agent in the office that's probably already paying for it and ask them for, how it's working or if they're getting any leads from it and how profitable it is.
Good idea. Very good idea.
Or you can also talk to Michelle, your productivity.
Yeah,
coach.
your coach, right? Yeah. Okay, so Command is our smart database that Keller Williams makes available to us. I'm sure we've all been in Command. It is for our database. A goal tracker, you can track your goals for yourself for the month and the year. It's a task manager to track all the things that you're committed to and completing, lead generating and transaction coordinating. And if you haven't used Nikki for transaction, I mean, she definitely takes a lot off your plate, but if you're new, you should absolutely know how to complete your own transaction before you just give it over to her, or go step by step with Nikki through a transaction, because you need to know the whole full process. And Command is for referral networks to connect with agents everywhere and give and receive referrals. I've definitely used our networking system to give out referrals to Colorado, to Florida,
We
to
do Wisconsin. too.
Wisconsin, when it's farther out of anybody in our office that
Texas.
wants to do that, Texas. So the referral base network really is useful.
And you can look up, we search by the area, and then we can see how many transactions they have done in the area. So you get to see how many they've sold, how many they've bought, and also their units too. So then you're not just connecting them with a random KW agent that works in that area, you can actually connect them with a high producing one.
And I usually call the team leader and ask for their recommendation as well in that market center, in that area. So we're on 6.4 in your book, if you guys are following along. So now you know why, obviously, we're using the database. Now let's talk about then what happens. The 4 laws to help your database and business thrive is building your database, feed it every day, communicate in a systematic way, and service all your leads that come your way. So how are some of the ways, is any that we may have not talked about, that you guys communicate with your database? We know Scott's doing cards. Anybody else? How are you guys communicating with your databases? Nick?
I would say text message and Facebook.
Facebook, yeah, you definitely use Facebook Messenger a lot more than I do, for sure.
So if you are on your laptop, you can type in messenger.com. And it's like AOL, all it is Messenger. There's no Facebook or anything like that, so then it's just like inbox.
That's a good tip. Anybody else?
And then they read it.
What?
You know if they read what you said.
Oh, okay, got it. I got it. How else are we communicating with our database?
I was gonna say any way that they prefer to, and that's part of knowing them. So I do all pretty much 3 different ways: text message, or call, or email. So any one of those 3, whichever way is their best way of getting a response. And I tend to find that it's more generational too.
Yeah,
So it's.
Yeah.
Because best customer service is giving what each individual wants.
you're right.
People have different standards, but people have different ways they want to be communicated with, so it's different.
Yeah, and I think doing Facebook, when you, like, I like to do my anniversaries. I do an anniversary card, but I also like to get on their Facebook and say happy home anniversary. So then they're seeing me as their real estate agent on their Facebook page, and that I sold their home. It gives you free advertisement through their whole database, whoever's seen it. And or especially on birthdays, but I do feel bad. I still didn't call my cousin. Noted. What are some things that we're reaching out to our databases about besides birthdays and home anniversaries? Training seminars, appreciation. Anybody do the holidays? Christmas, New Year's? What holidays do you mail out?
I do, Christmas. Well, we did, once a month, we're doing them like.
A mailer? Yeah, I know it's expensive, but I think mailing, you know, everybody can just go through. I mean, I go through and delete 100 messages in my inbox every day. I just start at the top and click the shift button and it highlights 100 of them and they're out. So, so I do believe mailing, I mean, it is more expensive and it's more time consuming, but I think mailing is important, especially right now. It'll set you guys apart if you can afford it. You can, it's, well, when you're doing
Yeah.
1,000 people, yeah,
I think the other thing when you're doing mailings, like, handwritten notes are great. But then to get away from the postcard things that everyone just uses as a kid, like everyone else. There are services that'll send like a postcard this big. So you can send out some things that people will actually open.
mhm,
So be as unique as you can, even in mail. So,
yeah. I agree. All right, so the 4 laws of the database. So we are, yep, there. Obviously, and it keeps repeating the same thing. Obviously, we need to be building our database. And so we've already started doing this through Ignite, through phone calls, and through the conversations that you were having. The success system activities, is everybody kind of doing that 10 or trying to, the 10, 10, 10 and 5 conversations? Is everybody trying to do a due diligence on that? Good. Any successes? Anybody want to talk about any feedback that they've received?
I just, for my posting and stuff in the last week, got a new client buyers, and in the last week I've already, they signed a contract on Saturday. And
Wow.
and on April 11th already. So,
Wow,
wow. Yeah, and her
Congratulations.
sister is an agent that they were using her sister, but they didn't feel she was working hard enough for them or helping them very much. So she called me and she was like, yeah, I saw your post and we're not super happy about what she's done for us. And we're about to lose a grant if we don't for next month. So,
Yeah.
yeah, so signed their contract on Saturday evening.
that is awesome. And maybe, I don't know, maybe you could reach out to her and, you know,
Yeah,
ask
I will,
her.
because she's a friend of mine too, but they
Ask-
don't want her to know until everything's gone through and.
That puts you in a real tough position.
affair.
Like 50 times, like, are you sure? Are you sure? She had helped them like a year ago and they haven't really talked about it in 2-3 months and they're just kind of annoyed that she hasn't done more for them. She only does it part-time. It's not her full-time job. She does other things.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
hard too.
We've been on the other side of that too. I think that if you're not continuously contacting your clients
Yeah.
too, you might not know that they're frustrated with you. They're
Right.
like, oh, they're just gonna call me when
Right?
they wanna see a house or,
Yeah.
you know, so you have to consistently check in as well.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm friends with the whole family. So we'll see how that goes in a month.
Maybe you can bring her and she can get some real training. You can put her in your downline. Okay, so, oh, what?
I would give her
That's a good idea.
Cause that way it's a happy medium, yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, and you could ask them, who do you want to tell her, you or
Yeah.
the sister?
You're giving her money.
Right, right.
There's 10 kids in the family, so I'll just stay on the good side of some of them for a while instead.
Oh, heck, yes.
That feels like a good lesson, though, like, cause sometimes I can see where you're going, oh, I'm gonna focus on my clients and
Right.
my family can take the back seat, and that's not necessarily a good
Right.
idea.
They did say she's been their realtor for a year, and I think she's only had showed them 4 houses total in that entire year. Like all 4 of them we found and like pulled her schedule showing. We're like, I was their realtor for a week, and I think we did 16 houses or something. and then signed a contract, so.
And I'll say, it is really hard when you're part-time but sometimes, I mean, you have to be part-time to make a living. I didn't make my first closing for a year. So you have all these expenses going out.
Yeah.
It's hard. So don't get discouraged, all you newbies, but it does take a long time. And there's always agents that you can shadow, go on showings with, go to inspections, just ask or tell them that you're available in your hours, and other agents that are doing business will absolutely call you and take you along. Okay, back on track. So building your database, at a minimum, each contact should have obviously the basics. And there's several ways to add your contacts to command. Has everybody gone into command and added at least one contact? Otherwise, we can go through on how to do that. Does anybody need instruction on that? Okay. Also, some things that are great to track are birthdays. Do they rent or do they own? So we're going to start getting into different ways to identify them when they're in your database. If they have kids, what if they have pets? So Stephanie and I had got some pet Christmas cards. So the people that I know that have pets, I'm sending them pet Christmas cards. What their kids' names are, what their occupations are, and anniversaries, either wedding anniversary or house anniversary. Does anybody in the room track anything else that they could differentiate their contacts from? Kevin, do you have any specific categories that you keep track of?
Yeah, I have command, I have tags for birthdays, home anniversaries.
Yeah.
Those kinds of things. Nothing really overly that, but I do contact them. I make sure that I reach out to them every morning when I get up. That's the first thing I do. I text them.
That's,
You've been here, your house for 2 years already.
yeah,
So,
yeah. You've got equity.
One thing that you can keep track of is if you're giving referrals to lenders, track how much money you're giving that lender, and then you should ask that lender for a referral back. So it should be a partnership between all your lenders. So if you're giving them money, you should easily ask for money back.
That's why she's the boss. Okay. Yeah, the next part was to practice, putting contacts in your database, but if we don't need that practice, I think I'll skip over that part.
There's I imported everybody from LinkedIn. You can do that too.
No doubt.
You can export all of your contacts from LinkedIn and then put it into an Excel file and whatever.
You can also export from Facebook too.
Yep.
Oh,
And
I
you
didn't
want
know.
to export everyone.
And some birthdays and stuff like that. So you have all, and then Google Drive as well for the contacts. So you could have 3 massive lists
Right.
of people, upload them into command and then. from
So-
there sort through.
So we probably need to have like a little session or video on how to do these exports,
So that's
right?
Scott.
You just Google it.
Leroy.
There's already videos.
Scott Leroy do that.
Okay,
Upload it into command apparently, free.
okay.
You just have to hit the download button. I mean, it's really easy on, and they'll sort your Excel stuff too.
Drew will help you with it too. Make it work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Drew,
Drew, I don't think he's here.
He's on from home.
Oh. Hi, Drew. I know. You miss us calling your name, don't you? Okay, so we'll skip over then how to actually enter a lead. We talked about the different things that we could tag them with and how to track them. Yeah. All right, so I think we're gonna go to 6.6 in your book. Feeding your database. What are 2 pathways for feeding leads and contacts into the database?
prospecting and networking.
Marketing, yeah, and marketing. Good, good student. Oh, is it right up there? Okay, so what does it mean to feed your database? I think that this is getting a little repetitive, but obviously the 1, 2, 3, 4, feed it every day. So what is a way that all of us, how could we add somebody to our database today after class? Any ideas? Go ahead,
Contractor.
contractor, and then,
Find something like that.
yeah.
Yellow pages, whatever.
And I feel like, is everybody on Nextdoor? It's an app for your local area. I like Nextdoor. I've been selling some stuff as well, but I think it's a good platform that you can put out some classes. You can do a couple ads a month for free. So Nextdoor, I think, is a great resource as well. Mhm. Yeah, you can, you have to do a business page. You can't do it on a personal page, but you can have a business page on Nextdoor. You can do, yep, you can do 2. If you buy a zip code, then you can post as much as you want. It was pretty reasonable. When I did it a couple of years ago, it was like $80 a month or something, but I feel like just doing free posts, then you can, yeah. Yeah. So the law about feeding your database is about adding people, obviously. So it's who you know, the sphere of influence, and the people that you are encountered with regularly. Saying add your dentist, your children's teachers, co-workers, obviously none of us, and the people you know from your neighborhood. And obviously, yes, lead generating. So prospecting is actively seeking leads and building relationships through your conversations. Prospecting is cost effective, and if you are able to directly hear them and be able to speak with them in person, and if they're ready and willing to do business, obviously you are doing your prospecting right, just like Marjorie had a very good success story. That's awesome. Okay. Anybody else want to talk about how they're prospecting and feeding their database of anything that we haven't really covered yet? Okay. So the value of your sphere. We kind of went over this in the lead gen one. Building your database can be accomplished economically by asking everyone you know and who they know who might benefit from your services. And I think that there was a really good example. Who said it? Was it Mo, about, you know, what he could offer instead of I'm just a real estate agent? Like he was offering something very specific. Who said that? Was it Mo? Remember?
I don't know. Yeah, it was, like, I feel like maybe it was Louise.
Okay, and maybe it was Louise, and yeah, and how he is helping people in his neighborhood.
Become like a. I think
For a first-time home buyer owner. And also what services that he could help them with. And I think that's a really good way to introduce yourself to somebody new, is telling them what kind of services that you offer, or specifically what you could do for them, instead of just saying, I sell real estate. I'm in real estate. Does anybody have a sample of like their elevator speech that they want to just share, that when you're introduced to somebody?
I help people achieve their goal of ownership. That's what it is.
I help people achieve their goal of home ownership. That's great. Does anybody else have like a tag or something they say when they're just meeting somebody and they ask, what is your occupation? Or what do you do for work? What would you say? Or
I usually say, I work in the real estate industry. I have a certain state of asking for the city. So, well, I was. What do you do in real estate? I work as an agent. I work with, specifically, I use the tagline, heads and beds. So I'll work with. the
Heads
tenant-
in beds?
Heads in beds.
That's cute
So
tag.
essentially, anything that has a head in the bed is something that I sell. So if it's your primary residence, your vacation home, your Airbnb, whatever it might be. Possibly duplexes, triplexes, fourplexes, 10-plus apartment buildings, hotels, motels.
You've never said this before.
So essentially, and then I go back, I say, it's all about heads and beds. Outside of that, I work with it, but I often bring in the specialists.
Nice.
Awesome.
I think that you should do that as a video.
Is that your spiel?
It is. Yeah. So I
You
work
have
with
it
heads and
mailed.
beds.
He has it
Primary
mailed.
residence or vacation home, or maybe your Airbnb. And then I can also. You get into that, duplexes, triplexes, fourplexes, 10-plexes, apartment buildings, hotels, motels, student living. And portfolios.
That's good. Anybody else?
I don't know how to. mute.
I think,
I can just ask them to. If you hear me, mute yourself.
Click on the thing next to participants.
Yeah, it just says, it literally just says ask to mute. We can't. mute.
Well, that's,
Yeah. We don't even know who it was.
Kevin and Bill, how many transactions do you think you do out of your, what percentage of your year is a referral or repeat business?
I'm not as seasoned as you are, so I don't have as strong as a referral business. But right now, I'd say it's probably about 35 to 40%.
So you're always getting new business then?
Yeah, I'm still doing open houses, I'm still doing mailers and that sort of action.
And I would say open houses, that's how I started. Open house is the best way to meet people.
It's been unfortunate the last couple of years because there haven't been houses to
Right.
post.
Right.
This year has been better already. I'm seeing that there's been a few, but I mean, the market's nuts. If you weren't out there this past weekend, going homes, I mean, I showed 3 different homes, all 3 of them are multiple offers.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's back to 5, 7, 9 offers, not
yep,
2 or 3. It's
Yep.
inventory.
inventory is too
So,
low, yeah.
and people are excited. The itch is out there, it's the great homes. But we need to find listings.
Yeah, that's the golden ticket.
So for all of those offers, are they going significantly over asking?
Yeah, I mean, we won't know for sure, but yeah, you can imagine. And if you're advising your clients when you're in multiple offer, you gotta let them know you're writing at least 5 to 10% over.
So the Boss Harbor team, they did an open house. They just had a live listing on Friday. They had their open house on Saturday. And they had at least 3 offers. And it's 25,000 over asking. That's what they.
Yeah.
The clients I showed this week, they put offers on 3 houses before this one that they finally got. And one of them we offered full price with no contingencies. We were the first showing the moment it opened. And she said, we're gonna wait until we get all weekend long, and they closed 50 over asking. So. And they received 7 offers over the weekend.
Yeah.
Sorry for going down that rabbit.
No, it's great. Spring market is here, right? I mean, yeah. Kevin, what about you?
Well, answering your first question, I'm just under 20% in repeat, 19%, but like Bill, about 30-35%.
Really?
The open house has always been my bread and butter.
Yeah.
Sure. And I am seeing the same thing on you guys, as far as I just listed a prop there coming soon, I have 6 shows that it doesn't go on until next week, it falls, but it's almost $800,000. So there's a lot of, I'm doing the same thing right now with 2, one at 535 and one at 530. And I'm expecting the exact same thing. And I think that the listing is king right now, because the more properties we get listed, the more these second time home buyers can start to look at properties to purchase. And the first time home buyers to get out there. So it's been a struggle. We used to always see it as townhomes and condos and start to go on the market. This lower single family, and then it's kind of generate up the most kind of the reverse. The luxury home market is, I don't know, if that for higher price, say $500,000 above, are very active.
Yeah.
They're getting other people active.
Yeah, I think that as well. Because they're either seeing what is going to be happening in our economy. They want to downsize. They want to get out of the big mortgages, or people are starting to just retire, right? I mean, so there's all different types of situations, but I do believe people are trying to get out of these big houses if they don't need them anymore and get into something more reasonable. Right.
Nesters.
Side note,
I'm doing a different approach. Well, also, so it's partners. Sure. So all great. Right. But yeah, I mean, it seems to work. It's that carrot. Like the opportunity.
Can you just elaborate for people that don't know what the 72 sold program is like? What are you doing the carrot? What does that mean? And how is it different than what you did before? Just kind of elaborate what you're doing. And will you speak up just a little bit?
More of the tip right.
There you go.
You can hear me use.
That's gonna be her tagline.
So the 52 where you're getting the buyers more intrigued by providing a little less. You put less photos on, you market.
Less photos meaning empty bedrooms, room of a piece of carpet and a window. That is senseless.
Less photos being the key photos. It's
Yeah.
not doing 4 photos of the second bedroom. It's doing 1 photo of the second bedroom. It's doing 1 photo of the. So people have less to dislike about the house.
Right. Yeah, the virtual tours are removed. You know, you're not doing that good. But the whole program and Denver, you said as well. We first, but the whole idea of it is it's the psychological approach of, you know, people are calling me now. I have people flying up to Dallas that want to see this property. They want to see this property because it's very interesting. When you go on the market, you go coming soon, you have this 8-day program. You go on, you're coming soon. All of your information is there, your supplements, your photos, your remarks, the quotation, the public remarks, you're complete, ready to go. And they are not, you know, you're not able to see the property in the coming soon period, but boy, the number of phone calls that I'm getting, I've got 2 texts or 2 emails sitting here that just popped up over the same property. What you do that is I'm holding an open house on Saturday at noon. And I'm telling people, and Saturday it comes after, I didn't do it exactly like the book, like the 72 program. Normally we have it active on Friday and but block it out so that nobody can show the property, and that's the advice, you can do that opportunity showing with them, and again, it's a very psychological approach, where on that Friday, you'd be saying, okay, listen, I talked to the seller, if you guys are interested in this property, I have been authorized right now to take it off the market for a PNAS for 8 hours. You really want to put something here. They don't want to hold the house open. They don't want to have much people trade to the property. If you want to do something, let me know right now. And it's just building up that anxiety.
Making it feel special, like it's special or.
Yep, exactly.
And you're pre-screening at the same time.
Yeah.
You're eliminating a lot of just tire kickers. that want to get in early, you're figuring out whether or not this person is really going to truly buyer, and then giving them that opportunity to show.
That's exactly right. And what are we missing?
It's really good training that scarcity mindset, but I mean, the market's already doing that, that was just a little bit above and beyond than encouraging the buyers, patient and the buyers, their showings. This is a great opportunity for you and be helping give them permission to act on it.
You're forcing that by blocking out that Friday, you're forcing everybody to come through when you're hosting an open house.
Yep.
So you're hosting an open and then you agree or approved all the showings or the seller has. Yet you're there to point out, as they call them, peripheral, different things that the buyer's agent doesn't know. Buyer's agent doesn't know what's going on in Woodbury, like we know what's going on in Woodbury. They're just kind of wrong. Yeah, I think it's Center Street Elementary. That's what the. If you're the selling agent, you know that information. And you're there sharing.
If you're able to share those things, that you highlight the things that are problem, because our job as a buyer is to go in and try and figure out how we negotiate.
Yeah.
Price the laws. Well, then all of a sudden, dumbass is sitting in the corner day. Just get them all excited. But then also very important to note that it doesn't have to be a bazillion-dollar property, be $100,000 cent. It doesn't matter the price point. So just the approach.
Right.
I've been using showing time, but I didn't do the lockout. So I didn't really.
So recapping is put your homes active when you can actually be there for the first amount of whatever block of hours. So you're the expert that's there, telling the best features about the house, showing them the home. And then, like I say to my listing, I always try to build synergy around a home. So when you have 6 people in, they're like, oh my God, they're gonna write on it. We better write on it, you know? So you're building excitement and hopefully putting it into multiple offers by, you know, the first weekend. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Kevin and Bill and Anne Marie. I think that those are good points that we've learned out of 72 sold. Right? Okay, so testimonials and reviews. Where do you guys put your referrals and testimonials? Like your blurbs that people say something nice about you. Mine are like realtor.com because you can send a direct link. I know, Kevin, you do Google reviews and Zillow. What was the other ones? So are you able to copy that testimonial and put them in 4 different places? Or do you just try to feed the 4 with?
When I ask for a referral, unless I screwed something. Yeah. I ask for a referral, I give them the 4 links. You would be good.
Oh, okay, all 4 at once.
Write up a review. 5-star or better. But if you're able to do that and then just post it to these links.
And they'll do multiple, huh?
Yeah.
Because if they write one, then that's a great idea, you guys. Copy and paste it. Great idea.
And we ask for our testimonials and reviews multiple times, because when they're moving or when they're buying, they might be busy. And so they won't write it. And so just go ahead and ask them again. I have a list of all of our past clients that have not written us a review. Maybe it's a year later, just like, you know, we worked well with each other.
Well, and I'm thinking about even sending it out before the closing, because once you're through the inspection and now you're just in a waiting game, they may be packing, but they have more time to do it before you actually even close.
Yeah, because when they close, they're moving, they're changing
Right.
utilities, they're doing a lot of stuff.
Right,
So,
and
yeah.
so I think you can actually even send it before closing. So where else can we get referrals? Do you have somebody besides your clients that would actually write you a review? or testimonial, like, who are some people that we could ask for testimonials from?
Other agents that we've worked with.
Oh, that's a great one. That's a really good one. And building the relationship with that other agent. And it was brought up in one other class, like, you can ask them to come to our classes. Our doors are always open for everybody to attend any one of our classes. So that's a great one. Anybody else?
Use your letters and your inspectors.
Inspectors, yeah.
You use just, I mean, it's a one time deal, but it's, you get a pretty damn good review out of them. Instead of doing business.
Right? Good idea. Bill, anybody else? Scott? No,
I got one that from my financial advisor, and he stuck it on realtor.com. I didn't even ask him.
oh,
It
wow.
was just like it was showing up there one day.
Well, that's really nice.
It was nice, but I thought, geez, why didn't I even ask him?
Sure.
You know?
And then we can reciprocate,
Right.
right? And then you're building that relationship. So anybody that you've had an encounter with, and we could actually even do that with restaurants, right? It doesn't always have to be real estate. We can do reviews for other people, and at least then our name is out there. And, so it doesn't always have to be something that's coming back to us, but we can give those as well.
I had a question on that. Like, if you get a testimonial for someone, do you want them to post it on those sites, or do you get it and then you post?
Usually they're protected links that
Right.
they can only do it.
Okay,
And then you can copy and paste it off of like realtor.com
Right.
or whatever. But usually we can't post on their behalf. It has to come from a different email.
because I've had that where I've asked for referrals, and then they just send me an email testimony.
I know, right. So then you could just throw that up on your Facebook or something,
Okay.
or can you copy and paste this into this link
Just
so
give
it
them the
posts?
instructions.
Yeah, I would.
You can even just copy and paste it and share it on your Facebook wall too, and be like, my client on this shared this testimonial. You can still share that information, you just can't do it in an official link.
Right.
Yeah.
Where do you get your testimonials?
This is gonna be terrible and y'all can laugh at me. I got a couple and they're sitting in my inbox. I haven't done anything with it.
So you're gonna just post them on your social media?
They're not even there.
We know what you will.
Yeah, I can do that. They are actually my buyers, not solved, and my sellers, not solved.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the printed one?
Printed
Sure.
off when I'm sitting in front of someone, I can flip over and there are a couple of testimonials and shop it towards them and they can read it. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay.
People don't like
So we're supposed to do some brainstorming, but I think that we just did that as a class, like brainstorming where we can get more testimonials. Does anybody have any other ideas that we can share? Go ahead.
Again, with like unique things. One way you can, if you're doing neighborhoods, you can go to the UPS or the USPS, United States Postal Service, and get all of the big package bags for free, because they make all their money on the postage side of it. But if you put the CMAs or any information that you want and place it on people's doorsteps, they will actually take it and open it up and read all of that information. So being super unique, if you're sending things out, bigger cards, maybe something that has a package to it or whatever else. That's a good way to get people to read your stuff. Also, if you're door knocking, make sure that it's something that they're going to open up. You can also go to FedEx, purchase all of their envelopes and shove CMAs or a letter to them inside that, so they're going to that open.
Right, great idea. And do you drop it off or do you mail it then?
When
Depends.
I was doing door knocking, I would drop some. And I mean, I would actually just not give it to you. But if they weren't home, you have a better chance of.
And who were you door knocking?
I was door knocking a neighborhood.
And you were doing CMA, so it was the same CMA.
For the most part, yeah.
So same
I
CMA,
did that.
yeah. And that's a great idea. The only thing that I would add to it is like their old listing or their tax record then in it. But that's a good way to door knock a neighborhood. Just send out the activity report with simple CMA, and I would put in a blank estimate of proceeds so they can see like what that looks like. So if you overwhelm them a little bit with information and don't give them all the answers, then they're like, oh my gosh, I can't do this on my own. Or that's a good way to, for FSBOs as well. Kind of getting off topic, but. Okay, all right, let's take a, yeah. Yeah,
Trainings on there and stuff about asking for referrals. 96 is an agent in or something.
I've heard of
It's
it.
about a training on public promise, and that's how he asks for referral throughout the transaction.
Oh, the promise.
That's
Okay.
his way that he asks for referrals throughout the transaction. It's really good. And there's some other ones on there, but his stands out to me.
Mhm. Yeah. And especially when you're working with a client and you're in the process, they're really happy. Cause now they're talking to everybody about buying or selling. That's a great time to ask, do you know anybody else that's wanting to purchase? Because that's all they're talking about right now. It's like when you're having a baby or when you're having a wedding, that's all you talk about. So that's a great time is during the actual transaction. I have to definitely get better at that.
Like, all of a sudden, you see that for everywhere, looks like you never saw it.
Mhm.
Right?
Now it's like that too, and I think people get answers that relate to that. So, you're gonna meet people who are thinking of buying and selling right now. When you do, you could.
Pass my card along. I used to, at the initial meeting, I would give them 5 or 10 business cards. And, say, if you're gonna go to an open house, you can leave my card if you run into a friend. So then they always have a stack of your cards, not just one card.
Especially now, so to homes too.
True, right. Because especially they'll show a card and then that agent will just definitely back off. They're like, okay, you're working with somebody. So, all right, anything else before we take a break? All right. Well, you guys never come back at the time. I mean, 3 minutes. I don't know. How about we do, you guys, yeah, exactly. That's why I'm calling my own self out.
Yeah.
Like 5 after, you got 7 minutes. Is that good? Okay. Yeah, exactly. Oh, and I wanted to remind everybody, so the St. Patty's Day shenanigans with Partners Title starts today. So go over there and get a poker card. So let's all go right now. Right here, yeah, Partners Title, yeah. So they're doing it Monday through Friday. And you must make a stop. You pick up your card daily and you sweeten the pot. Wild card Wednesday can help your play. The best hand on Friday will definitely pay. In order to win, Partners Title or KW St. Paul are the places to drop. So let's go get our poker card.
No, I'm not gonna play, right?
What up, bugs?
I think he's really gonna get.
No, thank you. I burnt the top of my mouth and it hurts.
Yeah, that's great.
I would say. Well, super. I think.
Hi, you're missing. Oh, gosh, thanks.
So the. Yeah, the coach.
We have to work. There, I mean, maybe. Yeah. I don't know where the information. No, it's. Oh, yeah.
And then bring it over.
All I did was the problem.
So if I went down there, you would.
So.
Yeah. So can you just-
Okay, we'll just see that. You know, it's.
Well, no, I would just update, yeah.
I have no update. I'm on the MLS, just kind of ahead of the game, but just on and. Day one. That's exciting. You went.
I'll get your name out there.
Yeah. Hey, man.
So I think I'm- Feeling, I don't know what's wrong with the brain officer.
Hey, thank you. Do you have any experience of the Gmail that is expired?
I can't. Only do one, you know, for the-
But I could be able to.
How else you gonna get wired away?
It's good. It's really good to see showing house dog into that couple. How about yourself?
I was at home, Queen was on, no.
Was she?
Yeah.
It's a busy for her, yeah. Everywhere. Oh, yeah.
Get off the schedule. Yes.
Oh, gosh. That's good and bad, you know?
I didn't take a break, get overdoing.
You know, you have to do that. I realized that last week that I needed to be more conscious of my time and,
Yeah.
you know, not take on things that aren't necessarily gonna bring me value right now.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
Good, they got, started walking around the garage.
And then,
So I have to find something.
yeah.
It's all a little.
I didn't know. That's good.
That is it.
On there.
Well,
Any extra steps, any extra movement for sure always helps.
yeah.
I've started like when I go to Target or whatever I'm doing, just I've been so busy lately. I purposely park at the other end of the parking lot because it's like at least I force myself to hold 30 steps in and 30, you know, like anything I do to get those extra steps, and I'm being so busy, you know.
Right.
It's really have time. Yeah, that's awesome. Good for you.
Walk in the garage. Yeah, I think the dog.
Well, that'd be fun.
That's fun.
Is there a boat there?
Yeah.
Where do you take them?
Dan, Red Lobster.
Oh, wow.
That is my dog, so when I find a dog of her own.
Wow.
And they can be that's where she. They have a
Wow.
but she,
One number.
There a big girl, but she's a big guy.
Not quite that, that was like.
That's. Stop is my little.
Like, no.
Yeah. Car and. And then when we had. Well, I think. And then, yeah, it's pretty soft, there's seem like this.
Yeah.
Cause it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they actually lost it.
It's too bad.
Well, I don't want to hear. And then what they.
But they also said that it's gonna be more than that.
Oh, well. Not you said. They just want more options, really.
So, I mean, I was.
Well, then they have to get it. So.
Yeah. We're forming a group called the Big Streamers.
Not have much space and.
They don't. They could. It's gonna be. Like, that's the guy. Like they go.
Yeah, I said, well, thanks for reminding me. Then the guy that was scrapping.
Yeah. So, yeah. You know, maybe.
Website is then it has to do the brand. I secure.
It's what? Yeah, but we're on the third law.
Over, going back to this.
Yeah. Yeah.
The other one has.
Do you want to whistle it?
We're just gonna clap. Okay, so the third law is to communicate with your database. In the previous sessions, you learned about the importance of relationships in real estate, along with the different ways that you can communicate. So communicating with your database, it's called touches. Touches. How are we touching our database? And we already kind of touched on a few, but is there anything unique that we haven't really discussed about how you're touching your database and how frequent? Anybody shout it out?
I should.
You should or you do? You're not supposed to should yourself.
Not in front of you.
Anybody else? How are you guys touching your database?
I work in it every day.
Good. You work in it every day. Do you have a system of who you're gonna be touching in your database on a regular basis?
Well, I have the smart plan set up,
With everybody?
just, yeah, everybody that has email,
Okay,
the ones, and then the ones that respond, I check those first and then go through the rest. And then there's some, what do you do with the ones that remove themselves from your?
oh, Stephanie just puts them right back on there. No, I said,
unsubscribe them.
there's no unsubscribing from the Westerlund team. We're in there forever. I mean, I was supposed to read over that regulations of, don't contact everybody. We got that the first session, just don't contact people that are on the do not call list. I'll have to do that as a disclaimer, I'm sure. But, okay, good. So I'm glad that you're using commands. Any other ways, that we're touching our clients or sphere of influence besides what business?
Christmas cards,
Yeah.
holiday cards.
Yeah.
The social media posts in command are really nice, it's like the little videos that you can use and
Okay,
those right.
nice.
I need to get better about hosting client events.
Hosting client events?
Hosted.
Oh, hosting.
Doing client events.
So what kind of event would you want to do?
And that's part of it too. Wait, we have a spot that question.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a city meet and greet, but no, I know like, some teams will do like a riverboat day on the St. Croix, they would go on, they can, paddle boats and where they get served lunch and everything, so I've seen teams do that, I've seen teams do things, like a pumpkin patch, type of thing, or an apple orchard. So I don't know, I need to narrow it down
And just do one.
just do one.
One of the easiest ones that we did was a happy hour,
Yeah,
Yeah. The problem,
yeah, and that could be something, yeah, like it, take everybody to a game once.
take everybody? Well, then I'm coming. Okay, and friends.
That's what it is, a client referral event is ultimately what it's looking for, but yeah, I mean, rent a suite for a game or something.
Okay, so I have a question. Here at this market center, don't you guys do events here?
Yep.
Like, wouldn't you also try to utilize what is already here as well? Or-
Yeah, so the Easter Bunny is going to be here April 1st, 10 to 12. Yeah,
A lot of times, for me, they, are at the same time as other things, and I do want to do one that's separate. I have done the trunk or treat, some of the fun things here, and they're beneficial. people coming through, and it's great for them to see the office and see what kind of culture and camaraderie we have here.
Absolutely. I totally,
So.
Agree
yeah,
on that
does,
part.
But I do want to do one more isolated,
Right.
more solo.
Or like particular type of clientele, maybe, like you were saying, like your referral.
Yeah. Past clients and strong referrals. I use 2 to 3 lenders. I use 1 or 2 inspectors, so those would be, they would be invited as well. But as to what it is, it's just a matter of, and then, I've heard of people doing movie dates. I've heard of people doing picnics at Lake Elmo. I
So
mean,
it's
just,
just, you have
random-
to just make a decision.
yeah, just make it happen.
In my previous job, I've taken groups to comedy,
comedy show.
yeah, and have advertisers. Over the comedy show.
Sure. Michelle?
One of the least expensive ones is the movie, so I will run them in office. So I will advertise the movie in the park and then you put like up, and it will send with my business card on it and I can use it too. And I just invite the people. It's a completely free event.
Yeah.
So they just bring, they utilize the cities.
Do you have like a sign or something so people know how to find you and, or, you know?
Yeah, so I usually do the one down at the Stone Arch Bridge down there.
Oh, yeah.
So last year, the year before, I learned how to play a little bit of Bohemian Rhapsody on the piano.
You
It
did?
was terrible, but I Facebook Lived it, I videoed it. Like, okay, so it'll be much better for you guys tonight when you see me, see us at the park, or whatever.
So you brought your keyboard?
I have-
No, oh,
But how did the park- how did you-
how did they find you?
I did it at home as a freedom to
Oh.
remember you guys as staff meeting today. I had to done an e-bite.
Okay.
for it And sent it out to all my past clients and bring whoever you want. Bring your own share, I'll have popcorn, just come and see me, I'll have to jump with my ass people with the popcorn.
Nice.
So she was just not my everything, but I had it.
And you probably meet a lot of strangers that way too. The free popcorn lady.
So that's a really inexpensive way to utilize.
Absolutely. And even if you're sending an event out, just like the Easter Bunny one, you're inviting everybody. Who cares if nobody even comes?
Yeah.
But and when you're here, it also builds the culture of our office and it brings us all, I think, closer together.
I think that's an important thing to note is that you don't actually have to have anyone attend your event. Because a lot of times you just send the invite, you've got a conversation with your client, you say, we can't make it, and you're still having that one-on-one time with the person. And they're happy to get the invite, so you still kind of get credit for it,
Right.
but you're not actually spending any money.
Right.
So,
I think the office is doing a great job on the events that they're offering for us to do. So we don't have to be spending thousands of dollars at a happy hour or doing that. They can just come to the office. Unfortunately, I think a lot of my West clients aren't going to be driving all the way over to here, but at least they have the invite and they have the opportunity. Kevin, what events have you done?
I think probably one of my biggest sellers that I had was I brought a dumpster for the
A dumpster? No doubt. You had your own Kevin cleanup day.
You tell them don't bring appliances, things like that, break things down.
Yeah.
It was great. People just loved it.
Never heard of that. That's a great idea.
Good coffee and just do the daytime.
How did you advertise it then in your neighborhood? You did a
I
big,
just did it with flyer.
okay, I mean, how many houses do you think that you hit?
No, I think it turned out to be 125 houses. But, and I did I get business out of it? Yeah, but not to the extent, it's $750 for the dumpster, the repair dumpster.
How old you get it?
It was filled. I was gonna say, he almost had to probably call a second one.
Yeah, whenever there's one in the neighborhood, everybody wants.
I'm sure you want to move that away, just put it in the garage.
Right. I can sell that.
I furnished my entire house.
Yeah.
They've got a cul-de-sac right in the middle of it. So you live on a gorge. She's in a cul-de-sac.
That's a great idea. I've never heard of that idea. That's a good idea. What does your team do?
They also do the dumpster, they call it the funky junk factor.
Yeah, essentially, we set up a kind of a date and people swarm in and all their stuff.
One of the things that Caroline likes to do is really involve her culture into her things, so we do a holy party. We do it in June because the weather here, during March, which just passed on last Wednesday, is crap because it's all snowy. And then we also do a Diwali party in November. And you just kind of teach people about like the different events that way. I know they do like, I think Sherilyn does like also like dinners and stuff, like, for some of her like, VIP.
VIP one, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, we also do a co-op agent party
What's that?
once a year, so we invite all of the agents and lenders that we work with throughout the year on all of our deals. And we just host a party and everybody gets to come and hang out and network and
Oh, that's a great idea as well.
just a give back gratitude, thank you to them for, helping build the business over the last year and.
Where is that usually held at?
At Andy and Caroline's house.
Okay,
They got, when they purchased their house in West St. Paul, they purchased a big enough house to be able to host it. So.
hey, I'm ready.
Everybody-
I'm ready.
Well, even when they have a smaller home, well, even when they have a smaller home, they were always, that's what they like to do. They like to bring people to their homes.
Yeah,
Like our Halloween party that we did last year, we always, the people think and get a party bus for all the kids. The party bus will park in the driveway and the kids can go through, there's like a slide down the back of the bus. And
Oh,
there's
fun.
stuff in there, so they, for Diwali, we had an artist come and did her art for about 2.5 hours and lots of food. Also,
well, it's very personal when it's at their house.
Yeah.
That becomes real personal.
And it's always a lot of like food, especially, well, it's always Indian food, right? So people enjoy like trying something they.
Absolutely.
Before and everything, because one of the things that we do also is like, when they're, we have little magnets with recipes on it for them to try. Things like that.
That's great. How many participants do you think that you usually get on something like that?
Diwali, we had about 150 people in the house.
Yeah, there were a lot of, and people don't always like stay the whole time, but they like,
Right.
yeah. And we go all out, we like decorate your whole house.
Yeah,
And-
if you go on.
150.
Yeah.
That's a
If you go
great
on to
turnout.
Starwood,
Well, she's
they
constantly
video
doing
there,
stuff.
what everything looked like and like the people that were there and the food and you can see us dressed up in saris.
Well, and the years pass, so people start to see what they're missing.
Right.
And they don't want to miss it then the next year.
Yeah,
So that's
and they
where
look
videos and social
forward
media
to it.
are really good boosters for events like that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Bookshelves for the shoes next year.
Oh, yeah.
It was-
Right?
You walk in the door, and it was just like the whole
bunch of
front
shoes.
entry with just shoes.
Right? Oh, wow, that's great. Okay. All right, who wants to read this?
To succeed at a high level in real estate sales, you must commit to frequent contact with the database with the intent of building close relationships.
All right, so let's think about this for a second and how long should we be committed to building relationships? Forever, exactly.
It's like-
Nope, it wasn't. Exactly. Forever. Okay, 3. So the way you communicate with your database will depend on whether it's with leads or contacts. And remember that in Ignite, we are focusing our attention on relationship building and strengthening with our contacts, our sphere, those whom we have permission to speak with and communicate two-way conversations with. And as we establish and build the relationships and learn more about the person's motivations, dreams, and interests and goals, you'll categorize or segment these people into common interests so that everyone is receiving communication that matters to them. Now, I think Stephanie had just come up with a way to try to separate our database for our newsletter. And it's
We've
going to
done it
be,
4 times.
it's gonna be time consuming. It's gonna be time consuming, but we have to like categorize people so they fit in specific categories. And yeah, go ahead.
The point of putting people in different categories is that you're treating them different than the other contexts. So don't just put people in this category, this category, this category, this category, when they all get a newsletter. So everyone should be treated differently. So while you're thinking of like organizing your database, if you're treating everyone the same, you don't have to do anything.
Right.
So it should be like, you should think of how you're gonna do your touches. Are these people gonna get a mailer? Are these people first-time home buyers? Are they gonna get touched more? Then everyone should be labeled on how you're gonna be touching them.
So you're having different newsletters to.
Well, like for,
to different things?
yeah, so for our database, they get the MailChimp. And so like people that are more frequently like shopping, they might get a separate touch. So they get an additional touch. So those two people are being treated differently.
So, but the main chunk of your newsletter, everybody gets, and then you
Yep.
kind of separate and do different things for different.
Yeah, that's our goal, right?
So
And
like people that have family, they get the Easter invite.
Right.
People that we know that have kids might get a personal email being like, hey, the Easter bunny is coming to our office. We're having a trick or treat. They might get a phone call, they might get a slide broadcast. So then we're treating those people different. So we want to know who has kids. So, yeah.
Could you explain this slide broadcast?
Slide broadcast is when Amy personally calls everyone, but she doesn't. So we take everyone's phone number. I record Amy's voicemail on my phone. I upload it to slide broadcast. I copy and paste the phone numbers and it just voicemails everyone.
Slide
It's kind of,
broadcast.
so it's like what the schools do.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
hey, this is superintendent, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So, but then we slide broadcast everyone and we can slide broadcast neighborhoods that we pull from Cole Realty. We literally
What
slide
is
broadcast everyone.
Slides.
Slide broadcast.
Oh, slide.
Yeah, and there's also slide dial, which you can just dial one phone number, but the slide broadcast is the voicemail. So we'll slide broadcast everyone and people would call her back and be like, oh, I missed your phone call. And we're like,
I'm
oh
like-
my God, it's good.
Go to voicemail.
We do like to break up people by 500. We don't want everyone to get it, everyone to try to call back at the same time.
Ooh, that's
So we'll do 500 per day. So that way, if we get like 10 people calling back.
Yeah.
On one day, it's not like overwhelming, because if everyone tries to do it, then like people.
Well, it's a good reminder that we should do that for the slide to
Yeah.
invite people to April 1st.
Yep, to the Easter bunny.
How, any other ideas? How do you guys, what are you doing to communicate? The slide aisle?
yeah.
You keep
Right.
saying slide dial, that's different.
Slide
It's not much-
broadcast. Slide broadcast. No, it's really great, especially for the $1,000 giveaway that's coming up as well. Like, all you need to do is get back in contact with me because we're trying to encourage them. We're always fire hosing on our clients in our database, right? We want them to get back in touch with us. So the $1,000 giveaway is a really good one to contact them saying, just contact me back if you want to be entered into this contest. That's it. Right? I mean, that's all they have to do is call you back or,
I
Yeah.
got a question for you with that. You've done that a couple of times now, right?
Yeah.
Do you find that you're getting the same people call?
Yeah.
Each time?
Yeah.
And do you find that you're asking them the same question?
Yeah.
Each time?
yeah, no, just it's,
Yeah.
do you want to be entered in the $1,000 giveaway?
Yeah.
That's
The
it.
whole idea is get the lead, if you ask them the question, is call me back between 3 o'clock and 6 o'clock. And
Right.
Even I don't answer what I'm looking for. Like be interested in buying, selling real estate, once you call, you're entered, if you give me a lead, you're entered twice. That's what we're doing.
And now that people are seeing like, because I post what the office gives me of the winner, they don't know that it's not my database, right? Did get more the second time. So now this is the third quarter that we're gonna be coming up on for the $1,000 giveaway.
Do you guys use the slide broadcast, like even during the holidays to not only send a card, but also just like calling to just say like, hey, I'd like to celebrate whatever.
No. I don't, no. Well, you could,
Yeah.
Yeah, you could.
you
but we-
can, no, but I don't.
We do a lot of, this last Christmas, instead of doing a company, Christmas card, we hand signed a bunch, which was fun.
And it was her and I with Santa.
Yeah,
So we got that picture and then we sent that out to everybody.
and then we, hand signed all those, and we did like more personal touches, and then Amy, wrote a little something in there for the people that we knew,
Yeah.
but then once we got to like 300 people, we're just signing, we're just like,
Right.
Amy. This year will probably be a little bit more diligent in getting it done maybe ahead of time or sooner.
Sooner, so that way you can break it up, so it's
Yeah.
not so overwhelming.
Yeah.
Right,
But that's just being systematic with your touches. If you know you're gonna be doing Christmas cards in December, maybe you mark on your calendar, November 15th, get that list together. Who's gonna get a picture, so that way you're planning out your marketing calendar, so then it's not just like you have the holidays with your family, you have 100 things to do, and you have this humongous mailer.
Right.
Would you spell guys slide?
So slide SLY, and then it's broadcast. Yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm. Yeah, so we have Plan Voice. So we pay for that service, and then I can export neighbors, the neighborhood around the listing, and I'll grab all of their information. And we'll do two different voicemails. One inviting them to the open house saying that we have a listing coming soon. And then the second one is when we're like sold or we got the offer. Thank you for your community support. So we have two different like scripts for that. Yeah, and so then we do a mailer to the neighborhood too, and then we do the slide broadcast too.
so just listed, or
Yeah.
coming sooner, just listed, and then it just sold.
Yeah.
And then an invite to the open, for sure, which is really nice, because how many get a invitation to an open house? That's something that we just started. I think that that's a really good idea too, though. For a touch.
Yeah, we've had a lot of good contact from it.
Yeah.
A lot more people come to the open house and then they feel invited to be a noisy neighbor, so.
Anybody else have some unique things that they do?
There's a holiday cleanup I heard on Friday. And so this is all about that, but I mean, we have time right now, especially those of you that are just kind of getting started. To put together a little letter and send it to the people, letting them know, reminding them that, hey, I like something for starting my business, and the Minnesota State Lottery has $2 to get at the gas station and buy a letter to stick in there. People love getting that kind of stuff in the mail.
Yeah,
And then remind them they can, if they're going to bring it to downtown, they can stop by the office.
and have snacks.
Things, but it's.
Yeah,
We've done the lottery tickets for the dollar ticket that we've done for clients, and it was for their birthday, so it encourages them to give us their birthday. And then we sent that out saying it's your lucky day.
because it was it says it's your lucky day, and then I say, hey, let me know if you're a winner. And then, so then they have something to tell me, back or whatever. Nope, I wasn't a winner. Can't wait until somebody really scratches off a big one. Okay, so tags. I think, does anybody have any other questions about tags and how they're gonna categorize their contacts, or how do you guys categorize them? I mean, there's a million different things that we can do, right?
I would assume it would be something that would be, like useful for you to remember them also. When you're deciding what to do, because I think everybody's gonna do it differently.
Absolutely. That's why it's like, it can get so overwhelming too. And you can make your database too complicated with too many tags as well.
I like the year,
The year that you met them,
or that you've had a contract with them.
sure, like their anniversary date.
Yeah. The year, and then the city, and then the state, they have a lot of. Like, a lot of contact
Out of state. Any other unique ways of putting them in little segments? So yeah, past client VIP. I have a list of VIPs that usually always support me, always come to events. You could do specific hobbies or their interests. So, or military investors. I have a lot of investors in my database.
Neighborhood too, excuse me.
Definitely. And everybody should be on that. Yeah, and everyone should be on that command, that touch. What's it called? The in neighborhood? The neighborhood nurture. Mhm. Oh, well, I think that's weird. Or two. Thank you, everybody, for participating in all of your comments. So communicating with your segments. So we already kind of touched over this with the newsletter. We're gonna try to definitely do different touches. And I think that the tagline or the subject line of your newsletters can also just be changed for that group instead of doing like a full different newsletter. Because like if they have kids, hippity hoppity over to the office April 1st for a picture with kids. I mean, somebody that doesn't have kids is probably not going to open that, you know, or, you know, if you have a different segment of, you know, more single, younger, you know, join me for happy hour, they're going to open that one. So I think also just changing the subject line would also help with open rate. Kevin, is all of your newsletters and everything the same for everybody?
If it's all together there.
Yeah,
But I mean. There's, and I don't really go, with the, anything on the website, just because of the, we'll use the mail. Yeah.
yeah, we use MailChimp too, and once a quarter, try to mail the database.
I've noticed also that I'll use the same format in, Facebook that I'll send out at the actual event. I notice the engagement are getting more than you started out. You know, you'll have the views, 117 views, but now there's 23 of me. Engagement versus 7. And some of that's kind of like.
Sure. Okay. So your whole newsletter goes into Facebook. And I think that that's a good thing where they're seeing what they're getting in the mail and then it matches what they're seeing then on social media.
Yeah.
I think that's great. Okay, so leads 19 to connect, 4 touches quarterly phone call, the 12 touch monthly email newsletter, a market report, video, 2 touches to promotionally direct mail, such as a magnet, calendar, printed market report, etc. I think the magnets are a great idea. I cannot believe how many people still have my magnets, and I haven't mailed out magnets in 8 years. So magnets do work, and usually one magnet in a card is 1 stamp. You can even get the ones that are for your business card. You don't have to have it. You can just slap it right on your magnet. Any other kind of touches here that we want to elaborate on that we haven't already? I think we've hit every single one of those. We're supposed to brainstorm, but I think we already did a lot of brainstorming, right? It also says Chamber of Commerce information. So, and that came up with another agent as well, just also getting involved in your chamber or sharing the information of new businesses that are out there. So we try to say, I buy local, support local. So also promoting local businesses. I've been trying to do more food and restaurant and other things on my Instagram. So it's not just about real estate. Promoting your preferred vendor list. Talking about homestead exemptions and your general property tax information. That's a good touch. At the end of the year in November, we send every client their closing HUD and just reminding them to make sure that they homesteaded their home if they didn't during their moving process. So that's a good touch by the end of the year as well. And obviously all the smart plans that are available to us. Okay. So the data bank contacts and in your data bank, so you can also have everything right on your phone. If you haven't downloaded that app, it's really user friendly. And there's also something that I just discovered on there. I sent it to you this morning or yesterday. We have, and Nick, you were thinking about doing a business card with the QR code. It's in, they're already made. I found it in Command this weekend. Yeah, I know. So you can just open that up and then they can just, but yeah, KW's already made us all one. I know. I don't think so. All right, anybody have any ahas that they want to talk about? Any ideas that you might implement?
Like that's my.
We even like, if there's for your VIPs,
Yeah.
we'll slide broadcast everyone. But if they don't respond to us, then maybe like the next day we'll be like, hey, just wanted to make sure that you got our voicemail. And then just touch in with your VIPs as well. So then it's like, some people get the personal touch, but then everyone at least is getting a touch. And if you don't have time to do it, if you're busy, you're touching like so many people within a short period of time. But I would say if you're recording your voicemail, have it pause for 3 or 4 seconds in the recording and then start your voicemail.
That's so true.
Because some people like your daughter, I forget what plan she had, but she didn't have an iPhone.
She doesn't have iPhone, she has an Android, and so it came in, it cut off a little bit in the very beginning. So
Well,
definitely
yeah.
pause for a second,
Yeah,
if you're
and
gonna
then-
start using that program.
That's
Dang Androids.
You just don't want to do business with anyone.
Any other ahas? All right, you want a break or you want to just keep going?
Yes.
Keep going? All right. So the final law is to serve all your leads that come your way. This will come in the form of a strong lead follow-up program, which you will get into on day 10 of Ignite, and that is keep every lead with your team. You guys are doing that.
Oh, is that on? Oh, that's Friday. Or no? I
Yeah,
don't know.
it would be
Friday, yeah. Yep, Friday. All right. You want to read that one? Anybody?
Your job is to build a community and serve the community.
So it's not only a container of information, but it is your business. Like when I go to a restaurant and there's a waiter serving 8 tables, that's your business for the night. That's how you're making all your money. So our database is your moneymaker. That's the only way about it. I mean, be putting people in as frequently as possible. And the best way to start that is open houses. Ask other agents that have new listings if you can hold their house open. Usually, I mean, if I have a new listing, I'm only gonna do it one day. And if it's vacant, have at it. I mean, okay. Now I need some listings.
I love you.
Yeah, good. And I think it's important if you are going to be giving an open house to somebody else, if you don't have a lot of marketing material there, tell them about the house. Like tell them and share your feature sheet with someone else that's going to be doing your open, because otherwise they're just like an agent walking in and they have no idea. So make sure that you are sharing information if you don't have a lot of content at the house. All right. So law number 4, serving your leads is a big part of building your community. So why do you think it's so important to provide service to all your leads? Well, Marjorie just got a lead, a friend, because her client was not being served, right? You can't, and just because even, so how I engage sometimes if I haven't had a conversation with someone that's just kind of looking and I have them on a home search and I see something new that's coming, I'll just say, hey, did you see this coming soon? Do you want to see that? I mean, it's simple. It's a text message, especially if I have 25 people that are on searches and they're not really actively looking. Put that engagement out there. So a lead not followed up on becomes someone else's lead and a source of business and income. So provide value in general and throughout your real estate knowledge by volunteering information and following through on what you say you'll do. It is important to serve all leads so you can know the source, track the relationship, and reward your referrals. So when you get a referral from somebody, please write them a note, send them a gift card. They do appreciate that. I just heard somebody that I was having lunch with. She used to be in the insurance industry. She has referred somebody, many referrals. Not once has she ever gotten a phone call, gift card, or a thank you. That has brought someone else thousands and thousands of dollars in business. Appreciate the people that you are getting your referrals from. Don't forget about them. All right, so command makes it easy to serve all the people in your database with whatever you need. You may follow up by adding more to the contact records. So we were talking about kids' names, birthdays, I mean, all that information. So you have as much knowledge, because once you really start growing your database, you're going to forget. I mean, I forget some of my clients. I'm like, what house? Who? I mean, you can't remember everybody. So definitely, well, isn't it true? I mean, especially if you didn't really have to take months of working with them. If it was a really quick transaction.
They will shoot just from house to house on a 6-house tour.
Mhm.
Which house had that?
Right, exactly. I try to keep them in order and I have them write down what they liked about the house. Yeah, that's very true. All right, so check out your command on your demand. Okay, I think we're home. All right. Let's keep going.
Which is the overview for loss.
Okay, so build your database, obviously communicate, feed and serve. Any ahas, any feedback? Anybody want to go over anything there? Nick's ready for a break.
And just keep talking to them and.
Yeah, yeah. You're good. There you go. Energy back up.
Okay, so trust in your database. Don't get discouraged if your database is not immediately yielding you results, especially being new. You have to continually show them what you're doing and that you're involved. So show them that you're in this class. Do a video when you're walking through a house and say, hey, I'm previewing this house. You know, just so you're engaging and that you're showing them information. So don't quit too soon. Sometimes it takes 2 to 3 years to see a significant return, and that's for sure. Like I said, I didn't have my first check or transaction, and it was my neighbor across the street, and I was in the business for over a year. It can take over a year of contacting people using the 36 touch campaign. If you don't know what that is, just go into your command and it'll show you all of the touches that they suggest to do. And mindset. Obviously, I think that it's really great that we're all in Ignite, because I think we all can get into a different mindset sometimes, and especially we're in a little of a lull for listings. We might all have some buyers, and that's the most hard part, I think, of real estate is buyers, and having not a flexibility sometimes if they're always shopping at the top of their price range of getting them something, but just continue to care on them and build those relationships, because it'll come around tenfold. Yeah.
About newsletters.
Yeah.
Do those, Do you use the command newsletter or you use MailChimp or you have something to do it for you?
We use MailChimp.
You guys use MailChimp, you pay for it
Yeah, it's about $28 a month.
and you send the same format
Yep,
every month.
yep.
Same thing? Use punching this. Man.
What does your team use for newsletters?
I actually don't know. I don't know, because I don't do that. I know I use MailChimp. We use MailChimp. I feel like they do.
Okay. Right. All right, so I think that's,
Which is the.
yep. So I'll say what. When, who said, okay, and now in 2 hours, we'll work together on the system. I'm like, this class isn't going for 2 more hours. So the success system, is, just trying to do your 10 every day. 10 conversations, contacts, handwritten notes, social media. And I don't know that we like copied this and made this into like a little sheet so we can kind of track what we get done that day. I mean, yeah, it would be great to have 10 conversations, but I'm definitely not up there. Anybody else doing really good with their success system sheets and getting all of those done? No, see? Work in progress, exactly.
I think it's good at seeing that goal to see how you should be operating and then realizing how off you are.
That's true.
Because I think like we're just like religion, and then we're just like, we're doing great. And then we get like this 10 contacts.
We're like,
and we're like, what? Yeah, so then we're like, oh, maybe we should work on it just a little bit.
Yeah, definitely need to do more personal touches to my database. I think Kevin's really good at that. He's always on the phone. Bill, you're really good on the phone. Who else is good on the phone? Nick, you're good on the phone. Yeah, that's something that I just don't like to do. I don't like to do it. Scott, you're good on the phone. I hear you on the phone. Yeah, I'm better at face to face. Exactly. Yeah.
Reading the motion to the person.
Well, how has your thinking changed? What new ideas, mindsets? Do you feel differently about things that are meaningful to you today? Any other ahas that you want to talk about?
If anyone wants to do a slide broadcast, I can help you do the first one. And then, that way you don't make a mistake and send it to everyone.
Yeah.
I'm mortified.
You're like,
So it's like already going, you're just like, oh no.
yeah, because it sends.
Yeah.
I just appreciate all the new ideas, the slide broadcasting, and talking about the dumpster party, like.
That's hard. That's great.
I think that you could also pair that into like a downsizing seminar
Yeah,
or
for
something,
sure.
because we have that
Yeah.
downsizing action plan.
And another one for you, Bill. So Bill, I did a happy hour and you can do it during a business's happy hour. So you get the deal from 4 to 6. Right?
Yeah.
And of course, then if somebody wants something off happy hour, because they don't look at your little card, it's house Chardonnay and rail drinks and a beer. If
Right.
they want something, whatever, I'm not questioning it. But I think I did one and it was under $1,000.
Yeah.
Over at what is it called?
Well, for.
Yeah,
We did that one.
Pub Boar, yeah, right.
And then we also did the other
Hotel.
ones, sensor.
Yeah, we did one at Sensors in Roseville, so I think it's a good idea to also change your location area. So other people can attend that don't want to drive 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, last slide, I think.
This is the one.
Hmm,
Just our successes.
yep, we already went through that.
Oh, did you not call?
Yep, don't call, don't get us in trouble. It's always Keller Williams agents too, because we are big callers, right? That get in trouble. I think there's one more. All right, I encourage everyone's conversations in the spirit of contribution, and people are happy to be in a relationship with me. You want to say it all together? Go ahead, let's do it. Spirit of contribution and people are happy to be in a relationship with me. Don't kill it. Did anybody not sign the sign-in sheet?
Oh, I didn't.
He wasn't here.
Oh, you didn't go over this. Oh, you guys, I want to just, one good mailer that, because I think that there's a lot of first-time home buyers, and if you have not, if they haven't purchased within the last 3 years, this is a really good program, the Minnesota Housing Program, and you can call them and ask them for these brochures. I'm gonna put these in my mailer, and write a little note, like, because you can have up to $157,000 income and still qualify for some of this down payment assistance program. So this is a good thing to put in the mail if you're doing mailers too.
What about for?
I think the household income, so one person. I don't know, I don't sell the program.
You can also write on there, if you do not qualify, please give this to someone that does, because a lot of clients might not do it, but they might know someone that can get this from.
Does anybody want one of these?
I just. I'll take one.
It's right here.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Two people. I was holding them, yeah.
No, she doesn't read them.
Oh, this is a rehab loan program. This is a rehab one, sorry. There's another one that is.
Yeah.
So this is a rehab
I
loan,
need to have 5 more.
but there's another one that is the actual income. So, yeah. Yeah.
So far, okay.
You can also go into their calendar and go to their events too, so you could work their booth. You could work their booth at different events. So if you can't do it open house, you can go to these events, and then all people come to you there, set everything up, so. Thank you, everybody. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank
job.
you.
What makes you call?
Not up. Are we done?
I don't know which one it's not. I'm not sure. We'll figure it out.